Taurus. Six of Cups reversed. So for me, this is indicating not repeating the past here. Your energy came up in Aries reading as well, and it was your energy was saving grace for someone's path. Okay, a decision that they were making, your energy. So I don't know if you have Aries placements and Taurus here, where that's these two energies combined. I was also doing spiritual messages, the crow calls, and I kept getting Aries and Taurus going together. Like the energies were playing off of each other very strongly. So of course I still feel that going on right now. So again, you may have Aries placements and Taurus placements, and your Taurus placements is your saving grace as to what the hell was transpiring in Aries energy, the reading. All right, regardless, and the Six of Cups did come out in Aries reading as well. Somebody is not repeating the past anymore, and it was more so, it was about like an ancestral past that someone was unconsciously repeating, but someone is very consciously aware of it now, and so therefore they're not repeating the past. Okay, that's what I get with the Six of Cups reverse. It's just, you know, when you're a child, you're helpless. Okay, you know, you are easily victimized. You know, you're indoctrinated, you're conditioned, you're very vulnerable. You know, and you know, a lot of times you see how she's passing the torch to the older version of herself. You got to do a lot of work, Six of Pentacles energy, to reverse that, like to no longer play into this indoctrination, conditioning, victimhood, vulnerability, like, you know, where you're a victim to your surroundings. Like, you know, there's a lot of work that has to be done. So that's why I feel like this is an energy where you are someone's saving grace, or this is for yourself. You know, we do have Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus at the moment, so there's a lot of like people in the collective, in your environment, you know, are playing roles to like test you or something like that. And with Jupiter and Taurus, like it's definitely a test. But with Uranus and Taurus, this is to break you free, but you have to pass the test first. It's like going to school. You can get out of school, you know, as soon as you complete your work, you know, and graduate. It's contingent upon you learning and passing for you to break free and get out of there. You know, I couldn't wait to get out of middle school, high school. I couldn't fucking wait, but I knew I had to learn first. I knew I had to go through the process, the motions first, and then I broke out, right? Aquarius energy. So enough of that. I don't think you're repeating the past anymore. Yeah, look, the devil. The devil also came out in Aries reading as well. This is also the Seven of Swords reversed to me. And when these are in the reverse, you're aware of it. I'm not saying you broke out of it, but you're aware of it, and that's a start. But I do feel like, going back to the Six of Cups, you're not repeating something that has been, for me, it seems like ancestrally passed down, especially when it comes to relationships. You know, this is like a vibe. You know, I look at younger women these days in the gym and stuff, and or just in general in public, they all want to be sexualized. You know, they all want attention, you know, whatever. And I was like that when I was younger, because I didn't quote unquote know any better. I was conditioned to believe that that's how a woman should present herself. You know, I remember talking to my stepmom about 2 years ago, and this was around the time like I was making some like finishing touches on my changes, you know, growing into adulthood and maturity, getting into my 30s. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want to show my skin anymore. I don't want to show my skin anymore. And my stepmom was like, well, how do you expect to get a man? How do you expect to get a man And I just remember looking at her and I didn't have a response because I was like thinking about that, like, wow, even my stepmom, you know, is like, you gotta show, a woman shows skin to get a man. You know, and I'm adopted, and my mom, my biological mom, I'm one of 14, and we all have different dads. And you know, I have Jupiter in Libra in the 12th house, so that 12th house is also ancestral as well. And Jupiter, like I already aforementioned, is about lessons, right? I also have Mars in Taurus in the 7th house of relationships, and I've always had fucked up relationships, starting from birth, fucked up relationships. And so I'm only telling you all this story because that's the energy I'm feeling with this. It's like this little girl being conditioned or something being passed down to her, right? The devil, she's naked. She's an adult now. She's naked. There's a man, a demon in the background, just a predator. And she's naked and things. And she thinks she's hot stuff, and she is. But that's not how you get a man. That's not how you get respect, or how you get someone to commit to you or love you, or you're not in a genuine sense, right? And so this coming out reverse is literally like someone's upbringing, and you rule the 2nd house of tradition and things being passed down and how you were taught your values, and you're taught these values, you're conditioned on these values, right? This is tradition, like how it's always been. I come from a bloodline, as most women, who think that they need to be sexualized to be a woman and for someone to want them. And I see younger women today, they're naked. They're naked, their ass is out, boobs is out, you know, they want to be seen, they're sexualized, they just do the most. They do the absolute most. And when I look at them now, you know, I'm like, wow, I was like that. I can't believe I was like that. Right? So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with this in the reverse. And it takes maturity to get to that point, you know, or not. Because like I said, my stepmom even still had that mentality. And I remember when she was trying to get my dad, and he was still married to my mom who adopted me, she was walking around the church, bending down. I could see her thong and shit, pink thong. I'll never forget that pink thong. And she walking around the church like that. I mean, granted, my dad married her, but she literally was like, how do you expect to get a man if you're not, you know, showing skin, and la 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 la. That was her mentality. And that's the mentality of most women. And I'm sure my biological mother had that mentality. 9 of Pentacles is coming out. Okay? So this is more so, this is about looks and things like that, you know? This is like Venus energy, the peacock. This is Venus energy here. Let me show my skin. Let me, you know, la 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 la. Nothing wrong with looking good, but why are you naked? Why do you want to be sexualized? Why do you want to get fucked to feel like you're important or special? Like, why does that make you feel good? And why do you think I don't know, like, there's so many women in the world. There's more women than there are men in the world. If that's how you're moving about life, you're like a dime a dozen. Like, you are like the next bus coming. Like, there's nothing, you know, like, I don't know. I know some of you Tauruses, I always get that way in your energy. Like, y'all don't want to hear shit. Stubborn ass motherfuckers, right? And like I said, I have Mars and Taurus in the 7th house, so I get that vibe, but I don't resonate with it anymore. I got Pluto and Scorpio in the 1st house. That has completely shifted. Shit, my rising sign is in Scorpio now. So it's like my Mars energy is no longer active because I don't operate in that energy. It caused a lot of trouble, right? It caused a lot of trouble, and I was never happy, and I was always getting used, and, you know, like, you just want me for my body. You just want me for my looks. You just want me for my sex. Like, how you get them is how you lose them. And this can apply to men as well. Men, it may be, you know, you may feel like you ain't shit if you don't have money, a good job, or, you know, a lot of things. You know, Taurus energy likes things. But then eventually you kind of get to a point where, damn, she just wants me for my money. Damn, she just wants me for what I can give. Damn, he just wants me for my sex. damn, shit, like, you know, it sounds good in the beginning, but that's usually when you're like younger or immature. But then there's some people who are older and still immature. They have immature thinking, and that immature thinking was coming out in Aries energy as well. So I just feel like somebody is just not going down that path anymore. Here's my goodies, not my goodies, not my goodies. The same Four of Pentacles came out in Taurus's, I'm sorry, Aries reading. Somebody has matured and they're holding on to their goodies. They don't want to be sexualized. It ain't about how good you look anymore, how wet it gets, or how hard, or how big, and la 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 la. And this goes against popular belief. This goes against societal norms and expectations. But somebody, I feel, whether that's you or them, don't know. That's what I'm getting in your energy. Somebody doesn't care about none of that anymore. And that may also be due to Uranus and Taurus at the moment. Uranus is not worldly. It's not of this world. And so it's like somebody doesn't care if they come off as like an Aquarius energy, like different. While everyone's walking around naked and shit, this is somebody who's fully clothed. You know, while everyone's going into debt, trying to impress the next, someone is saving money and they don't give a fuck. This is someone who's like a minimalist, right? While everyone's overeating to get fat or thick, they think, you know, get thick, but it's really fat. This is somebody who's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get on a diet and lose weight. I don't want to look thick. I don't want to look fuckable, right? You know, it's kind of that vibe. So yeah, this Nine of Pentacles, usually the outcome is Nine of Swords. You start worrying. How you get them is how you lose them. Because while you're focused on your looks and looking good and having wet pee, you know, la la la, there's another bitch who looks good and has wet pee. There's another man who has a big D or has a good job. So eventually you be in Nine of Swords energy, you're worried. Now you got insecurities. Now you got jealousy here. Okay, now you're not comfortable. You can't sleep at night. You know, you're worried. Are they out cheating? Are they doing this, that, and this? Because how you got them is how you lose them. Everybody to somebody looks good. High Priestess is at the bottom of the deck reversed, which is interesting because the High Priestess came out upright in Aries reading. So I'm only mentioning this because yet again, Jupiter is in Taurus and Jupiter is the lessons. That's the teacher dishing out lessons. It's not Saturn. Saturn is just the consequences that you have to endure because you didn't learn the lessons. You didn't go to class. You didn't graduate. So now you deal with Saturn by getting held back. Now you deal with Saturn by having to prepay for a class. Now you deal with Saturn, you know, by X, Y, and Z because you didn't want to do the right thing or take the lesson or hear what, you know what I'm saying? So somebody learned Jupiter and Taurus energy. This is Taurus's reading. Somebody learned. Wherever you have Taurus placements, that's where you have learned. Like I said, I have Mars in Taurus in the 7th house. So I have finally learned my 7th house, my Mars in Taurus, where I put my energy or allow, or what I'm attracted to, or just relationships in general. Mars in the 7th house. I've always dealt with fucked up relationships. That's what Mars in the 7th house is going to do. Especially Taurus is about your self-worth. I know I look good. I know I have a nice body, but that doesn't mean I have to prove it. I have to show it off. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding on to my goodies because I know my worth. I don't have to show my ass and my boobs. I got them. I don't have to show how tight my shit is, but but it is. I don't have to wear makeup every day. I look good natural. I'm good, love, enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I'll pick and choose when I want. And if I do it, it's for me. I ain't doing it to attract nobody. You know what I mean? There's too many people in the world for you to be operating based off of your looks, your sex, money, la 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 la. And this also is in alignment with the spiritual crow call messages I have done tonight. So if you want to go ahead and watch that, it may start to make some sense here for some people, especially if you watch the Taurus crow call first. And here I am posting the Taurus love message. They're in alignment. So you might want to go back and forth and it'll probably click. Because some people were making some decisions, some different decisions here. But this right here, my point is with the High Priestess coming out reverse, this is talking about the lesson that you have learned. It's kind of like reviewing. It's like you take a test in class. All right, everybody gets their grades, and then the teacher wants to go over the test with you, right? And you looking at the test like, okay, I got this wrong. The teacher goes over why it's wrong, and then you're like, that's why it was wrong. Oh, now I understand. Oh, it's like one of them moments right now. Because I'm telling you, Aries energy had the High Priestess upright. And now it's reversed because this is like energetically a teacher, okay? The world, whoever you're dealing with, a person, you've taken a test. Because I said in Aries reading, somebody was a test to you, or they were a test to you, but you were their lesson. So this is going over the test. A lot of you passed the test. Some of you, you're going through and will be going through another cycle of some bullshit. I'm not going to lie to you. You are, because you're not learning this. And again, it's going to be different for everybody. Taurus energy isn't just about sex. It's about indulgences. Some people may have Taurus energy in the first house, okay? Second, third, you know the vibe. It's going to be different tests, different lessons. For me, it was in relationships with my Mars and Taurus in the 7th house. Where do you have yours? That's where the lesson is, because again, Jupiter is in Taurus and Uranus is in Taurus. Did you pass the test, Jupiter? If you did, Uranus and Taurus, you're free now. You have graduated. Move along. Next. Here's your diploma, bitch. So somebody's mad you ghosted them. And I was getting the Hermit and Aries reading as well. If somebody got ghosted. But that was the test. That was what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to ghost the situation. That was the correct answer on a test for them. The correct answer was ghost that motherfucker. Yup. They passed, and somebody's crashing out, whether you or somebody else, and they're mad because it was either you crash out or they, and it looks like they're crashing out because you passed the test. Somebody's also mad. It says dry vagina. So for me, that's just giving not my goodies. I don't get wet for you anymore. You don't turn me on anymore. This whole relationship don't turn me on anymore. This toxic energy bullshit don't turn me on anymore. You using me for sex does not turn me on. Dry vagina, shriveled up dick. Pick your, whatever it is for y'all. Pick and choose. Shriveled up dick or dry vagina. But it's only happening because you're not attracted to this devil energy anymore. Somebody wanting you sexually, or wherever you have your Taurus placement, whatever house it's in, it's just dry. It's barren. You're holding on to your goodies. Straight up, it says appalled that you won't listen. So some of you ghosted them, so you're not talking to them, you blocked them. They don't have a stage Leo energy to perform on anymore. You're not listening to the devil anymore. It could even be your primal Aries instincts here, the sexual instincts here for some. If it, you're not listening to other people anymore. Right? If I listened to my stepmom, I would still be in some Saturnian. I would be dealing with some Saturnian bullshit. Being rejected. I got Saturn retrograded in Aquarius in the 4th house. Still being rejected. Done showed all my goodies, gave all my goodies, and I still get Saturn rejection. Because I'm not learning my Jupiter and Libra lesson. Bars. So somebody's mad that you're not listening to them anymore. You're not taking their guidance, or you're not listening to what everybody else does. You're not following what everyone else does, right? You're not doing what everyone else does. Someone is mad that they're unable to read you, which is great. It's not a compliment if somebody wants to read you or get to know you. And a lot of you have changed that as well. You may have wanted somebody to know all of you, especially your body, your physical attributes. You wanted somebody to know all the curves and crevices of you here. And then you get mad when they start manipulating all them curves and crevices because they know it. Right? You want somebody to be able to read you until they start manipulating you because they can read you. Oh, I know they're going to react just like this. Yeah. Now it's a problem. 9 of Swords energy. It was all good, 9 of Pentacles. And then it becomes a problem, 9 of Swords. So you're damn right somebody's mad they can't read you. This is great. You're passing a lot of tests. Someone is mad you're not tolerating their bullshit. That came out in Aries reading as well. And they're mad you ran out of patience. This to me sounds like you just which is crazy because Tauruses, we are very patient. Sadly. I mean, it works in some aspects, but it sucks in some others. You run out of patience. You're not giving somebody 2, 3, 4 chances, 2, 3, 4 years to get their shit together here to make a change. The change that you should be fucking making. You know how that goes. We always want people to do what we ourselves cannot do for ourselves, right? That's why we attract these type of people. We try to change them instead of trying to change ourselves. In this case, Taurus, we don't like change. We don't like change, all right? And we are very patient. Well, now you're not patient. Now you're not patient. You changed, which is very hard to do for a Taurus energy. So I will get into this in the extended, available on YouTube members and or on Patreon. Link is in the description box below.